And today we're talking about how to be remarkable. Remarkable, meaning that others talk about you because you are notably unusual in a good way. I had the good fortune of speaking on the same stage as Seth Godin, a genius in marketing. He wrote a book called Lynchpin. And today I'm going to talk about how the knowledge from that book, Lynchpin, can help you be a linchpin and help you be remarkable. Those who follow me, you often will hear me say, plant your seed in fertile ground, which means that where you plant your seed, you're going to get the highest payoff because that was the richest soil. That was the best place to invest your efforts. On page 69, Seth mentions the sport of bowling. He says that in this sport, the best you can do is a perfect score, which is a 300, which means in the same match, the same competition, two different persons can get the same perfect score. How are you going to be remarkable when there's two of you? You can't be the great one when there's two, right? So what he's saying is that don't engage in situations where there's a limit to achievement. Engage in situations where the achievement, the measurable achievement, is limitless. That is how you get the recognition that you deserve. The definition of a linchpin, which you can look up and see for yourself, it's that piece within a system that holds the system together and makes it work. The linchpin is special. Without the linchpin, nothing works. When you're the linchpin, that means you are the person that everyone needs to be there because the situation is more fun or things are more efficient when you're there. It has more of a shine. You are that special piece that is always needed. You are indispensable. They need you. And you only become indispensable by going above and beyond and offering more value than is expected of you and more value than is required by your job duties. In fact, myself, anytime I do something, I always seek to over deliver and give you more than you paid for. But I'm just so much invested in trying to deliver value. And you know what? When you deliver that much value, people come back and they continue collaborating with me because I am a linchpin to them. I'm indispensable. No one's delivering as much value as I can give them in 40 minutes. And whatever your work is, you should seek to do that. For example, physicians. Here's the difference between a doctor who's a linchpin and a doctor who's an average doctor. In Seth Godin's book, he writes of a study that points out physicians who spend more time with their patients, meaning they invest more in bedside manner, talking to the patient, explaining exactly what the diagnosis is, explaining the nature of the pharmaceutical that they might prescribe. Those physicians get sued for malpractice far less than other physicians who invest less time. Why is that? Is that because they commit malpractice less? No. It's because when they do commit malpractice, the person is less likely to sue them because you don't sue people that you like. You don't sue individuals whom you feel care about you. In those instances in which malpractice occurs with a physician who has good bedside manner and invests more time talking to their patients, the patient says, you know what? That instance of malpractice was just human error for which I'm willing to forgive this person because I know they care about me, so I'm going to show them some love. That is how the world works. Quid pro quo. You must give to receive. The more you give, the more you receive. You must go above and beyond. Make yourself indispensable. Make yourself a linchpin. The real truth is that it takes guts to be a linchpin. It takes guts because when you're a linchpin, you are behaving differently than everyone else. And that is why you're remarkable, because you're different. You know, I like to get biblical on you. You know, I like to hit the Quran on you every now and then. And so, for example, in the Bible, it reads that to be a friend of this world is to have enmity with God, which is to suggest that if you're behaving like everyone else, you're probably behaving in a low quality, perhaps wicked way. In fact, when you look at figures like, say, a Jesus or a Muhammad or a Gandhi, we revere them because they are different. We admire them because they live in a way that we don't, that we would aspire to live in. So I must encourage you to be brave enough, use the guts that it takes to be a linchpin. And on page 67, Seth Godin refers to being able to stop the show at will, meaning when a system is operating, or say you have a job, whether you say you work at a call center and every day you say, "Hi, my name is George from Bolton Group." That's the first thing you say every time you make a phone call. Be willing to stop the show at will, which means that if you answer the phone, if the person answers the phone and you hear screaming in the background, don't say, "Hi, my name is George from Bolton Group." You hear screaming in the background. Adjust, stop the show at will. Be compassionate. "Oh, hi, my name is George. I'm on a sales call, but it sounds like you're having some trouble in the background. Is everything okay?" If you have to break the rules to be indispensable, do it. The rules. And this is what he means. There's some jobs you can't do in an extraordinary way. And if you can't, quit the job. For example, if you work at a restaurant and you're on the French fries, all you do is you fry them and you put them on the plate. There's no way to be extraordinary at that. At least not if you're following the job description. But maybe you say, "Hey, I came up with the new recipe. Let me try out some new seasoning. They always just put salt. Let me put some salt and a little bit of Lowry's and a little bit of X, Y, and Z." That is going to allow you to do something differently. Maybe someone tastes that French fries. "Huh, this tastes different. This is pretty good. I like this new recipe." If you're in a role or a job where you cannot be remarkable, quit. Or be remarkable and take the risk of getting fired. And if you get fired, fantastic. In fact, Bridget can probably help you with your resume, because a lot of resumes, not only do they have typographical errors, they're also missing the keywords that you need to actually have your resume read by a human being. Because it turns out that most resumes you submit, they're ran through a software and it checks to see if there certain keywords are there. And if they are there, they pass it on to the hiring manager. If they're not there, the resume gets kicked out. So definitely reach out if you need some help with that. I'm happy to plug you in with Bridget. I say all of this to say, whether you're looking at your personal relationships with your spouse, you're looking at your friendships, you're looking at your work, whatever it is, make sure that you are being remarkable and you're offering enough value that you are considered a linchpin. This channel survives because of you, because as a man, you decided to do something to support those who show you love.
Let us rise for the creed of the assassin. Wherever you are, say this with full conviction, knowing that this is true of you. Repeat after me, the creed of the assassin. I am going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable.
I'm going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable.
And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am.
And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am.
Click the subscribe button. We can only grow our channel by you sharing our channel, by you making donations at the Venmo, PayPal that we have listed below. I thank you all for your time.